Obsession is simply admiration dressed in envy and wrapped in denial. Ever notice how the same people who once doubted you suddenly can't stop talking about you? It's like you've become their favorite mystery novel, the plot twist they never saw coming, yet can't put down. Here's the truth. Studies show people fixate most on those who defy their expectations. Why? Because it rattles their ego. Nothing stings more than watching someone rise after they swore you'd fall. Now they're hooked. Your name is their daily headline, your success their midnight debate, and your silence, that's the part screaming the loudest. They're losing sleep over one question: how did you do it? But let's be real, they don't just want answers, they want your blueprint, your magic, your secret formula, even if they'll never admit it. Today we're pulling back the curtain on why their obsession isn't about who you are, it's about who they could never be. Reason 1, you broke the rules they blindly obeyed. They followed the so-called guaranteed path. Play it safe, stay in line, never question authority. But you shredded the rulebook and built your own game from scratch. That's what really haunts them. You didn't just succeed, you succeeded on your own terms, without begging for approval, while they worked overtime trying to fit into boxes you refused to even step inside. You defied everything they were taught to believe, proving that their so-called rules were nothing more than invisible chains. Now they're obsessed. Your existence challenges their worldview. It's not mere curiosity, it's frustration. You're living proof that those rules were a lie, and deep down they resent themselves for never daring to break free. They analyze your every move, searching for cracks in your armor, hoping to discredit your journey. But they won't find anything, because the system they clung to never owned you in the first place. They don't just want to know how you did it, they want to know why they couldn't. While they were busy following, you were busy leading, and now they can't look away, because deep down they know you didn't just break the rules, you showed that the rules were never real to begin with. 2. You made the impossible look effortless. There's something irresistibly infuriating about watching someone make the impossible look easy, and that's exactly what you did. While others drowned in excuses, it's too hard, it's too risky, I don't have enough time, you moved forward and did what they only dreamed of, and now they can't stop obsessing over how you managed to pull it off without breaking a sweat. Here's the truth, it wasn't effortless, but your determination, resilience and focus made it look that way. They didn't see what it took. They didn't witness the sleepless nights, the sacrifices or the hard choices you made. All they see is the end result, the success that seems to have come out of nowhere, and it's eating them alive. Why? Because they've been conditioned to believe that success must be a long, drawn-out struggle, requiring constant validation from others to make it real. But you skipped all of that, sidestepped the drama, bypassed the gatekeepers, and delivered results that made their excuses look like hollow justifications, and that's unsettling for them. They're not just curious about your journey, they're shaken. Your achievements have forced them to question everything they thought they knew about success. If you could accomplish what they believed was impossible, then what does that say about their own limits? It's not just envy, it's confrontation. You've become a mirror reflecting the truth they've spent years avoiding. Maybe it wasn't impossible after all. Maybe they were just too afraid to try. The quiet confidence they can't ignore. What really gets under their skin is your quiet confidence. You didn't seek applause or shout your journey from the rooftops. You let your actions speak louder than words. And that silent power, it's captivating because it's so alien to them. They've spent their lives over-explaining their failures, overcompensating for their insecurities, and under-delivering on their promises. Meanwhile, you just did it. No grand declarations, no desperate attempts to prove yourself, just results. Now they can't stop thinking about you. Not because they admire you, but because they're haunted by the realization that they could have done more, and that realization is a pain they can't ignore. This is why you've become the center of their obsession. 3. Your growth proved them wrong. They doubted you. Some even laughed at the thought of you succeeding. In their minds, they had you all figured out. You were the underdog, the one who'd never measure up. But now you've shattered every prediction they made about you, and it's driving them mad. What stings the most isn't just that you succeeded, it's that you did it without their approval. They believed their opinions of you carried weight, that their doubts could define your limits. But your rise didn't just defy their expectations, it made their judgment irrelevant. Every milestone you reach feels like a personal defeat to them because it exposes how wrong they were. They thought they understood your limits, but those limits only existed in their own minds. The truth is, they never saw your potential because they were too focused on their own insecurities. Your growth has forced them to confront a painful truth. They underestimated you, not because of who you were, but because of who they are. Their obsession isn't admiration, it's an attempt to figure out what they missed. They replay your story over and over, trying to pinpoint where they went wrong, but no amount of over-analysis will soothe their bruised egos. Deep down, they know the truth. They judged you from a place of fear that someone they dismissed could rise higher than they ever dared to. Now your very existence is a reminder of their lack of vision. 4. You thrived without their approval. They thought they held the keys to your success. They set the rules, created the standards, and declared themselves the gatekeepers of validation. In their minds, if you wanted to succeed, you'd have to seek their approval, follow their rules, and wait for their permission. But you didn't. You saw through their illusion of control, walked past their gates, and built your empire on your own terms. That's what haunts them the most. You thrived without their approval. In doing so, you exposed just how powerless their system truly is. They spent years convincing themselves that success required their blessing, that anyone who dared to challenge their authority would fail. But you didn't just survive, you thrived. You proved that their supposed power was nothing more than an illusion. Now they can't stop obsessing over you, not out of envy, but disbelief. They're stuck replaying every step you took, desperately trying to figure out where they went wrong, the truth they can't ignore. Here's the truth. They were never the gatekeepers they thought they were. Their rules were never real, and their validation was never needed. You've shown them that success doesn't belong to those who follow, it belongs to those who lead. And while they're stuck in their cycle of obsession, you're free to keep growing, thriving, and proving that the only limits are the ones we create for ourselves. Let them watch, let them analyze, and let them wonder. You've already won. They underestimated you because they didn't understand you. They underestimated you because their entire system thrives on ego and control. They've built their identity on the belief that success depends on their acceptance, their rules, and their validation. The idea that someone could succeed without bending to their authority was unthinkable until you showed up. You didn't need their approval because you had already given it to yourself. You moved forward with courage, authenticity, and an unwavering belief in your own path. Now they're obsessed. They analyze your every move, searching for a loophole, a crack, an explanation that makes sense within their rigid worldview. But there's none. Your success wasn't handed to you, it was earned. Every victory you've achieved stands as a testament to the power of self-belief and refusal to conform, and that's what terrifies them. You represent the collapse of their carefully constructed system. Your existence proves that their so-called power is irrelevant to those bold enough to step outside the lines and trust themselves. They'll never admit this truth, but it eats at them. While they may not voice it, their obsession reveals everything. 5. You made them question their own identity. For years they've built their identity on fragile foundations, societal expectations, borrowed beliefs, and external validation. Then you entered the scene, confident, self-reliant, and unapologetically authentic. Your presence alone feels like a glaring spotlight, exposing everything they've been hiding from themselves. It's not just admiration or envy, it's something much deeper. You make them question who they really are, and that's a discomfort they can't escape. Your confidence reminds them of the risks they never dared to take. Your self-reliance exposes their dependency on others for approval. Your authenticity lays bare the layers of masks they've worn to fit in, and the worst part, they know it. Watching you is like holding up a mirror to their insecurities, forcing them to see a version of themselves they've worked hard to suppress. This is why they obsess over you. They replay your actions, analyze your decisions, and dissect your success, not just to figure you out, but to understand why you unsettle them so deeply. It's not just about you, it's about what you represent. You're living proof that everything they've convinced themselves they needed to be may not be real. The life they believed was safe now feels like a trap. The choices they thought were right now seem hollow. Your existence doesn't just challenge their identity, it dismantles it. Their obsession is a reflection of their internal struggle, a battle between who they are and who they wish they could be. Deep down, they're grappling with a truth they've avoided for too long, that the life they've built might not be the life they truly want, and while they may never admit it, your authenticity has ignited something within them, a spark that's forcing them to confront the uncomfortable possibility that they've been living a lie. 6. You're unpredictable and unreachable. They thrive on predictability. They like their narratives neat, their people pliable, and their outcomes assured. But then there's you, the one they can't categorize, anticipate, or control. You don't fit their mold, and it drives them mad. Every time they think they've figured you out, you move in a way that completely throws them off balance. Your unpredictability has become their obsession because it threatens the one thing they value most, control. They've spent their lives building a world around understanding and manipulating others. To them, people are puzzles to solve or systems to manage. But you're an enigma. You don't play by their rules. You don't overshare, seek approval, or explain yourself. Your lack of predictability keeps them on edge. It strips away their illusion of control and leaves them powerless to influence you. What really gets to them is that you're not just unpredictable, you're unreachable. It's not just about physical distance or lack of access, it's about your energy, your mindset, and your refusal to engage on their terms. They can't get a read on you because you operate on a level they don't understand. Your detachment is your superpower. You're not playing their game and they can't stand it. Every move you make defies their expectations, leaving them scrambling to catch up. Why they can't let go. Their obsession is rooted in their own insecurities. Watching you thrive without their approval, their rules, or their validation forces them to confront truths they've long avoided. You're a reminder that their systems, their beliefs, and their control were never as powerful as they thought. They'll keep watching, analyzing, and obsessing, not because they admire you, but because they can't make sense of a reality where someone succeeds without needing them, and that's the reality you've created. It's emotional and intellectual. You're unshakable. Your detachment is not just emotional, it's intellectual. You don't rely on their validation, nor do you entertain their games. Their usual tactics, manipulation, control, guilt, don't work on you because you simply don't care about their opinions, and that, above all, is what rattles them the most. They can't control someone who doesn't need anything from them. They thrive on power dynamics where they hold the cards, but with you, their deck is empty. Unable to influence you, they're left with no choice but to fixate. They watch, analyze, and speculate endlessly, hoping to find a way to figure you out. But the harder they try, the more elusive you become. Your unpredictability isn't chaos, it's freedom. It's the ability to move on your own terms, untouched by anyone else's expectations. That kind of freedom, it's alien to them. They've built their lives around dependency, control, and external validation, and your detachment reveals the hollow of their approach. This freedom of yours becomes their obsession because they can't understand it, they can't control it, and most of all, they can't possess it. 7. Your resilience makes you unstoppable. They've watched you endure storms that should have shattered you. They saw you stumble under pressure, waiting, sometimes even celebrating what they believed was your inevitable downfall. In those moments, they assumed the odds had finally caught up with you. But every single time you did the unthinkable, you rose again, stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than before. Now they're obsessed, not out of admiration but confusion. You've defied the narrative they've been taught to believe. In their world, the system is designed to reward conformity and punish those who dare to stand against it. Yet here you are, thriving despite every obstacle thrown in your path. Your existence challenges the very foundation of their beliefs. They can't comprehend how someone they dismissed, underestimated, and even tried to suppress keeps breaking through barriers that were supposed to hold them back. Their obsession isn't just about your victories, it's about the way you achieve them. You don't beg for help, crumble under criticism, or seek validation for your strength. Instead, you adapt, learn, and grow in ways they never could. To them, resilience is a foreign concept. They've been so conditioned to avoid risk and failure that watching you embrace both and still succeed feels almost unnatural. Your resilience shines a spotlight on their avoidance, exposing the uncomfortable truth that their safe path may be the very thing holding them back. You've shown them that strength doesn't come from avoiding hardship, but from facing it head-on, and that realization terrifies them. They're obsessed because they can't figure out how you've done it or how to stop you. But here's the truth they'll never admit. They can't stop you because you're unstoppable. 8. You force them to acknowledge their own mediocrity. Your success has become the mirror they fear most. Every step you take, every victory you achieve, forces them to confront something they've worked hard to bury, the reality of their own mediocrity. They see in you everything they could have been but weren't brave enough to become. It's not admiration that fuels their obsession, it's a toxic blend of regret, envy and self-loathing. Where you took bold risks and embraced failure as a stepping stone, they hesitated, allowing fear and comfort to dictate their lives. Where you pursued your dreams with relentless determination, they chose the safety of mediocrity, never daring to step outside their comfort zone. Every win you achieve becomes a painful reminder of the risks they didn't take, the opportunities they missed, and the potential they wasted. Your life is a glaring reflection of the dreams they abandoned, and they hate you for it, not because of who you are, but because of what you represent. You embody everything they fear: courage, freedom, resilience, and authenticity. Watching you succeed forces them to acknowledge that their life of safety, conformity, and avoidance hasn't shielded them from regret, it's only magnified it. Why they can't let go. Their obsession isn't just about you, it's about what you make them feel. You're a reminder of their wasted potential, their unfulfilled dreams, and the risks they were too scared to take. Your success, your resilience, your freedom, it's everything they wish they had but were too afraid to pursue, and so they fixate. They watch, speculate, and analyze, hoping to find some way to diminish what you've achieved, but they can't, because deep down they know the truth. Your success is real, earned, and unshakable. You don't just challenge their worldview, you dismantle it, and while they'll never admit it, you force them to confront the uncomfortable reality of their own choices. Let them obsess, let them analyze, let them watch. You've already won, and they know it. They passed on their dreams and project their failures. They abandoned dreams they never even dared to dream. But instead of taking ownership of their choices and failures, they project their dissatisfaction onto you. Your achievements don't just highlight their lack of courage, they expose it. Rather than confront that truth, they turn their frustration into resentment. It's easier for them to despise you than to look inward and acknowledge that you've accomplished what they couldn't or wouldn't. They can't stand the fact that you embody everything they secretly wish they were but aren't brave enough to become, so they fixate on you. They obsess over your every move and attempt to tear you down in a desperate effort to dull their own shame. But here's the truth, they can't escape. No matter how much they project their insecurities onto you, your success will never reflect their failures. Instead, it will always illuminate the courage they lack and the mediocrity they've chosen to settle for, and that's the part they can't stand. You created value out of thin air while they ran in circles chasing fleeting trends and mimicking whatever seemed popular. You were quietly crafting something extraordinary. You didn't follow the blueprints others laid out. You didn't cling to what was already in motion. Instead, you forged your own path, built your own vision, and created something so unique that it now holds value beyond their wildest imagination, and that's what unsettles them. Your creativity shines a harsh light on their lack of originality. They spent their energy copying what worked for others, blending into a sea of imitation, while you focused on innovation. You didn't just repeat what was already done, you evolved. You brought something new into the world, something it didn't even know it needed. Now they're fixated on you, not out of admiration for your vision, but because they've realized they could never replicate it. They followed the rules and ended up with nothing but recycled ideas. Meanwhile, you created value where they saw nothing but a void, exposing their lack of imagination. They can't understand how you saw opportunities they missed or how you turned ideas into tangible success. Pure creativity and originality are constant reminders that their play-it-safe approach was always destined to keep them one step behind. Your ability to innovate and craft something real has left them in awe, not that they'd ever admit it. They're fixated because you've shown them what true value creation looks like, and they know it's something they'll never be able to replicate. You didn't let pain define you. They watched, waiting for your struggles to break you. They expected your pain to crush you, to see you bow beneath the weight of life's challenges. But you did something they never expected. You transformed your pain into power. Every setback became fuel for your rise. Every failure, every heartache became a stepping stone on your journey. While they wallowed in their own defeats, you were alchemizing your pain into purpose, into growth, into strength. You didn't let pain define you, and that's what keeps them fixated. You didn't drown in self-pity or hide behind excuses. You didn't let life's challenges become a reason to stop striving for greatness. Instead, you faced them head-on, transformed your hurt into resilience, and grew stronger from the very things they thought would destroy you. To them, your ability to transcend suffering is more than impressive, it's incomprehensible. They can't understand how you managed to turn your struggles into stepping stones, or how you rose higher each time life tried to knock you down. The unseen truth they can't escape. Your journey forces them to confront the uncomfortable truth they've avoided, that pain isn't an endpoint, and conformity isn't a guarantee of success. Your existence is a living testament to courage, originality, and the power of perseverance, and that's why they can't look away. You are the reminder of everything they could have been but chose not to pursue. Let them watch, let them fixate, because while they stew in resentment, you'll keep moving forward, creating, rising, and thriving, a mystery they can't crack. They've spent their lives letting pain define them, allowing their struggles to trap them in cycles of self-doubt and victimhood. They've never figured out how to break free from the weight of their own setbacks. But you shattered those chains. You took the very struggles that should have crushed you and turned them into the foundation of your resilience. Your ability to find meaning in suffering forces them to confront their own powerlessness. They're left asking, how do you do it? How do you rise time and time again when everything around you is designed to break you? Their obsession isn't just about what you've achieved, it's about what you've become. Your strength, your grace under pressure, and your ability to transform pain into purpose are all qualities they long for but can't seem to attain. Watching you turn your darkest moments into the brightest parts of your life forces them to face the truth. You've done what they couldn't figure out. Your success feels personal to them. Your success isn't just a win in their eyes, it's a personal affront. You haven't just achieved greatness, you've done it despite their best efforts to stop you. They tried to block your path, discredit you, and sabotage your every move. Yet here you are, thriving in ways they never thought possible. To them, your victories aren't just yours, they're undeniable proof of their failure. Every attempt they made to undermine you only pushed you further into the spotlight. Deep down, they know the truth. Their inability to break you is a reflection of their own powerlessness. This drives them mad, because your success highlights a hard reality. They lost. It's not just your achievements that sting, it's the fact that you've accomplished so much without needing their approval, validation, or permission. Your growth acts as a mirror to their stagnation, and that mirror is something they can't look away from. While they were busy trying to block you, you were busy building. Your rise serves as a constant reminder of their failed attempts to hold you back. They obsess over you, not because they admire you, but because every success you achieve screams their defeat. It's a truth they'll never admit, but one they can't escape. Your silence speaks louder than their noise. In a world where everyone broadcasts their thoughts, feelings, and actions for validation, your silence is a mystery they can't solve. They thrive on noise, arguments, justifications, and gossip, but you've denied them the chaos they crave. Instead, you let your results speak for themselves, and that silence, it's deafening. They expect you to react, to defend yourself, to fight back when people criticize or question you. They want a spectacle, but when you give them nothing, no response, no energy, no explanation, it flips the script entirely. Your silence forces them to confront their own insecurities and doubts. With nothing to latch onto, they overanalyze your every action, hoping to find cracks in your armor. But there's nothing for them to hold onto, and that drives them even deeper into their obsession. What they don't realize is that your silence isn't a weakness, it's a strategy. By refusing to engage, you rob them of the power they so desperately seek. You control the narrative without saying a word, leaving them to talk themselves into circles while you quietly continue building, succeeding, and thriving. The more noise they make, the more obvious their obsession becomes. And the beauty of it, the louder they get, the more you've already won. In the end, the loudest voice in the room is never the strongest. It's the one that doesn't need to shout. The ultimate enigma. Your success is their greatest enigma, one they can't shake, escape, or stop obsessing over. Every move you make, every boundary you push, forces them to confront the limits they've placed on themselves. Your resilience, authenticity, and unapologetic rise in a world designed to break you expose their insecurity and deepest regrets. But here's the truth they'll never tell you: their obsession with you isn't admiration, it's fear. They fear that your life is the one they wish they had the courage to live. And as long as you keep rising, as long as you keep thriving, their fixation on you will only grow stronger. But here's the beauty of it all: you've already won. The moment they became obsessed with you, they sealed their own defeat. Because no matter how much they obsess, no matter how hard they try to bring you down, they can't touch what you've built. They can't stop your growth. They can't control the narrative you've created. And that, my friend, is the ultimate victory. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm, to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel and share it with those who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your journey and how you are preparing for your own triumphant return. If you'd like to support our work, please consider contributing through Buy Me a Coffee. This helps us continually improve our content to offer you the best. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No gift is too small, whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share. Your generosity helps spread God's word and brings hope to others. Don't stop here. Watch our next video for powerful revelations about the signs that reveal you are the chosen one. We've enjoyed following this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Keep shining brightly and embrace your destiny with courage. See you next time. Blessings to all the beautiful souls from the